Hi, I'm Congressman Dennis Kucinich, and I want to thank the American Muslim Alliance for the invitation to speak at this important event. I wish I could be with you personally, not only to have the opportunity to share the warmth of your friendship, but also to have the chance to personally receive the Malcolm X Award. As we know, Malcolm X was an American who put his life on the line to stand up for the dignity of African Americans. He was a person who understood the risks that he took when he spoke out. And he was someone who we remember today in streets that were named after him around the United States and special programs that bear his name. And so for me, it's an honor to join recipients, distinguished Americans, such as Ramsey Clark, David Bonyer, Pete McCloskey, Cynthia McKinney, to join a long list of Americans who have been similarly recognized with the Malcolm X Award. Thank you very much. The conference around which you meet speaks to health care, civil liberties, world peace, all issues that we share a common concern. It's really time for us to challenge the underlying assumptions of our society, which assume that war is inevitable. The kind of thinking which separates people right from the beginning along lines of creed, race, color, country of origin, ethnicity. The thinking which polarizes people and us versus them. The thinking which is a precursor to war is what we collectively need to examine. Because every war that is external in our environment started in someone's heart. And that's the same place that love can't start. So we have opportunities every day to bring about a transformation, beginning with ourselves. It's one thing to stand for peace in the world. Most of us can and do want peace in the world. It's another thing for any of us, and any one of us, to take the responsibility for our lives and looking for opportunities to create peace. So I say, Salam Alaikum. Peace to you, my brothers and sisters of the Muslim community. At this time in our country's history, it is important for all of us to tap our deeply held religious beliefs and to transform them to opportunities to create peace. To tap the power of our hearts and use that transformational power to touch other people with forgiveness, with understanding, with appreciation for the brilliant coloration which humanity possesses. The Muslim community has suffered much since 9/11 with profiling, with unreasonable searches, with legal charges. So many innocent people have suffered. But we also know that through that suffering comes a capacity for empathy, for compassion, a growth of one's spirit, a renewed love of one's country, which becomes deeper when one is offended, and nevertheless moves forward and extends a willingness to come together in peace. The Muslim community's support for civil rights in America is absolutely fundamental to all of us regaining America's capacity for the fullest expression of our democracy. We have had an erosion of democracy since 9/11. I voted against the Patriot Act because I saw it as a frontal attack on privileges that are granted in our United States Constitution. I think, as Ben Franklin thought many years ago, that those who would accept limitations on liberty to gain a measure of security deserve neither security nor liberty. We have to reaffirm the essence of what it is to be an American, which is not only loyalty to one's country. That's the easy part. To get our country to be loyal to the democratic principles upon which it was founded. And that means freedom. That means freedom of association. It means freedom of religion. It means the right to be free in your person, your premises, and your papers from unreasonable search and seizure. It means the right to a fair trial, the right to be confronted with charges which may be leveled against anyone, the right to be able to confront one's accusers. And these are all rights that are supposed to be constitutionally guaranteed, but unfortunately in our nation in the last 8 years we've seen many of those rights abrogated either through fiat law or public policy. When we speak of the health of our nation, we can speak of its political health, which I believe is in jeopardy, its spiritual health, which certainly can find an expression that can be even more powerful, and its physical health, which is not being well tended to. Well, we see the increased privatization of healthcare in America, and healthcare just becoming another business. Not mindful of the fact that people can't afford premiums, copays, and deductibles, that people are having trouble making ends meet, that insurance companies, of course, make money not providing health care. We have to be ready for transformational change in our social and political structures, and one good place to start is with health care in America. John Conyers of Detroit and I drafted a bill, H.R. 676, which provides for universal, single-payer, not-for-profit health care. It's a bill which achieved the support of 87 members of the United States Congress. It's a bill which has broad support nationally. It's also a bill that was taken off the table from discussions at the beginning of 2009 because of the influence of the insurance companies. If the people of the United States are left only with private insurance companies to choose from, if they're left only with a bill which will give the insurance companies $50 billion a year with an additional business, 21 million customers, if there's no controls on premiums or copays, if there's no controls on costs, what can we hope for? So Mr. Conyers and I are continuing to push for a single-payer approach. We may not get it this time, we understand that, but we need to continue to hold this up as the goal to which we must move. It would be very sad indeed if the best that we could do is to have to be forced to choose between private insurance companies that in the last 4 years have raised their rates by double digits in each of 4 consecutive years and are promising essentially to continue to do that until the new law goes into effect. It would be very sad indeed if we were basically bound to that system and, if we didn't participate, pay a fine. The public has to have real choice. The public option was whittled away. A state single-payer protection amendment that I authored was taken out of the health care bill. So while the debate proceeds in the next few weeks in the Senate, we must be ever mindful that it is a foundational purpose of our government in the United States to promote the common welfare and the general welfare, and to do that